Now we have the floor plan for the second floor in Hindshall. We have 2 APs and 1 controller. This AP was placed at the hallway, and the controller was set up out of the CSANS lab. The other AP was placed at the door of CSANS. At this point, the signal strengths from both access points are nearly the same. The distance between 2 APs are 60 feet.
In the console of the controller via web browser, you can also see the access point summary over here. We are using 2 access points, both are up and running. In the wireless LANs, we can see the profiles. We created IST648 for our project and SSID roaming, and it's enabled. In the security tab, we chose static web layer 2 security, and here you can enter the password you want. The quality of service, it's silver. The wireless, you can see the APs, and make sure your 802.11a and n are disabled and BGN are enabled because we are only using 2.4 gigahertz. And now we will set some roaming parameters. Minimum RSSI minus 50 dBm, scan threshold minus 50, transition time 3, and more should be custom. Now we'll set some coverage parameters. Data minus 60, voice minus 60. It can be any value between minus 60 to 90 dBm. After these settings, we'll apply, refresh, and log out.
Now we use an insider to detect the signal strengths of each point on the roaming path from AP1 to AP2. As we move from AP1 to AP2, the signal strength of AP1 drops, and meanwhile, the signal strength of AP2 keep increasing. At this point, the signal strengths from each access point are nearly the same. After that, roaming happens. Now the client associated with access point 2, since the signal strength of AP1 drop out of the minimum RSSI we configured in controller. Now we can see the timeline diagram illustrating the ISSI trend of both APs.
Now here we see a laptop with 2 ARP cap adapters. Looks pretty cool. For capturing the packets, we used Wireshark, and we go to Capture Interfaces, and we'll select the ARP cap interface number 0, and we'll modify the channel settings in it. We'll switch it to channel 11. We'll go to the interfaces again, and this time we'll select the adapter number 2 and switch it to channel 1. After this, we'll again go to the interfaces, and this time we'll select ARP cap multi-channel aggregator. And here you can input the MAC address of the client device you want to analyze, and here you can see the packets. The first packet we see is the probe request packet from the client device to the AP on channel 1. It has signal strength of 42, and this is the probe request packet from the client device to the AP on channel 11. This is the probe response packet from the AP on channel 1 to the client device, and the other probe response packet from the AP on channel 11 to the client device is right here. Moving further, we will see authentication and association packets. Authentication always occurs before association. First of all, the client device will ask for authentication and will send an authentication request to the AP. After being authenticated, the AP will send back authentication response back to the client. Now it's authenticated. After this, the client device will ask for association and will send association request to the AP. After being associated, the AP will send association response back to the client device. Now the client is both authenticated and associated. Further moving down, we see this packet, the probe request packet from the client to the AP on channel 11, and over here we see the probe response packet from the AP on channel 11 to the client device. That means even if one client is associated to one AP, it will still keep talking to other APs available in the vicinity. As the client is roaming, it will disassociate from the AP on channel 1, and now it will try to associate with the AP on channel 11. It will send an authentication request to the AP on channel 11, and after being authenticated, the AP on channel 11 will send an authentication response back to the client. Now it will try to associate. Here it's called as reassociation. The client will send the reassociation request and the AP will reply with the reassociation response.